Welcome to Media Men Online. I am Dan. This is Isaiah.
Yo.
And these are the top 5 weekend box office numbers for December 23rd to December 25th. So Christmas weekend. Starting at number 5, fittingly, Violent Night, with a previous ranking of 3. This is its 4th week out. It has a total box office earnings of $3.5 million. The previous week of $5.05 million. I don't think a lot of people, so the theaters are open on Christmas Day, but I don't think a lot of people are going to the theaters. Excuse me. It's more for people who don't celebrate Christmas, for, to give them something to do. I had a few Jewish friends growing up who would always, it was like a family tradition. Every Christmas they would just go to the movies because, they were off school like we were, but they didn't celebrate. So
Violent Night beat out, what is it, Wakanda Forever, staying in the top
5. Finally.
Wakanda Forever dropped into 6.
The devil has been dethroned.
I was like, what? Violent Night?
Stayed above it. I looked through this list and I'm like, yes, Disney is not in the top 5. Oh, I forgot they bought 20th Century Studios.
Number 4 is Babylon. It is new this week. Its box office earnings were $3,603,000. And for a little comparison, Amsterdam opened with $6,444,000. Another thing that I had looked at as well was Nightmare Alley, because it came about around the same time. It's an old-timey movie. And just to see the injustice that Nightmare Alley got, I think Nightmare Alley only got like around 2 million.
Babylon the movie itself is very similar to Amsterdam. It's a clusterfuck of who knows what. I've seen all 3 movies, and Nightmare Alley is by far the best of the 3.
Hands down. I think Nightmare Alley was like in my top 5 last year.
Yeah.
Dan said Babylon was the first hour of the movie would be top 5, I'm guessing.
Yeah, the first hour of the movie we'll get into that. I don't know if Jeremy's going to watch it or not, but we might be getting into that soon. If I had to rank them, Nightmare Alley, then Babylon, then Amsterdam.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I guess just because that first hour of Babylon was that good.
Yeah, kicked ass.
So much wasted potential. But with I guess with Babylon, you could say there was so much wasted potential because like that first hour really tricks you.
Yeah, and I could watch that first hour over and over because you get a behind the scenes look at 1920s, mid 1920s, how movies were made. And I don't know how accurate it was, but based on what I've read about the movie, there was a whole lot of research done. So if that is a look at how, because this was during the silent films, if that was a look at how it was really done, kudos, because it's a brilliant first hour. Just leave after that. All right, and at number 3, Whitney Houston, I Want to Dance with Somebody. And every time I read this title, that song plays in my head. This is the first week out, a total of 4,765,000, with a comparison to Elvis, which came out earlier this year, for 31,211,000. So we'll see how it does next week.
Number 2 is Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. It is new. The box office earnings were $12,429,000. To compare that, though, you have another DreamWorks movie, The Bad Guys, that came out this year, which opened with $23,950,000. Now, I'm just assuming that it's lower because the whole Christmas week thing, people aren't really going to take their, kids or their family members out to see the movie over Christmas weekend. Because I will say there's a couple people that I watched and do reviews that said it's actually pretty good.
Number 1, Avatar: The Way of Water. So we went from Black Panther ruling this spot every week to this. This is probably going to last well into the new year. I'm thinking maybe February. I was looking at the new movies coming out, and it doesn't seem like anything's going to dethrone this. It's just going to kind of taper off after a while.
I think it's going to stay on until the Ant-Man movie comes out.
Can we get some good movies in the top spot for a change? Previous ranking of 1, obviously. Second week out, total box office earnings $63,338,220. Now, I do want to leave a caveat in here. These are all of the domestic earnings. This movie is internationally. I don't know what's wrong with people overseas. Did it come out almost exactly 13 years to the day? The second week for Avatar number 1. December 25th, 2009, 75,617,133. So our review that will never come out, Jeremy and I gave this a 7.5 combined. That was the top 5 for December 23rd to December 25th domestic box office numbers, because who cares about the rest of the world, right? These are the upcoming movies for December 30th, 2022.
Yeah, first up we have A Man Called Otto. Now, this is actually just a limited run, so that way it can be Oscar nominated, like it's the Oscar running run. Its full release is going to be on January 13th. It's a drama from Sony Pictures, and the synopsis is Otto is a grump who's given up on life following the loss of his wife and wants to end it all. When a young family moves in nearby, he meets his match in a quick-witted Marisol, leading to a friendship that will turn his world around. I watched this trailer. I think it was shown before The Whale, and I was just like, this looks like a not Christmas movie. Because, I'm a grump, a Grinch, Scrooge type. I don't know. I don't know why it's getting an Oscar limited run. Maybe it's a masterpiece and the trailer is just terrible. There's been some movies where I watched the trailer and the trailer is god awful, and then the movie is actually good.
Okay, so we've talked about 7 billion biopics on these movie previews and things like that, and we finally have a documentary, Turn Every Page: The Adventures of Robert Caro and Robert Gottlieb movie. It is a documentary from Sony Pictures Classics starring Ethan Hawke. Now, starring is kind of in quotes because it is an actual documentary where they're sitting down with people talking.
It's like one of the interviewees.
Yeah, he's one of the people. So this follows the iconic Pulitzer Prize-winning author Robert Caro and his editor, the literary giant Robert Gottlieb, in this chronicle of a 50-year unique 50-year professional relationship. I'm into this. I don't know who either of these people are, but after seeing the trailer and after seeing all these biopics come through, I haven't seen a nice, clean, non-murder related documentary in a while.
And I guess just this from the trailer did not interest me.
Sure. And you have to be in the mood. You definitely have to be in the mood for a documentary. And I kind of am right now.
There is a documentary that we're going to be talking about that did interest me later down the list. But up next, we have Alice Darling. This is another movie that's releasing in very limited theaters for an Oscar qualifying run. It wide releases on January 20th. A notable cast member is Anna Kendrick, who leads this movie. It's a thriller from Lionsgate, and it is about a woman trapped in an abusive relationship who becomes the unwitting participant in an intervention staged by her two closest friends. This movie, maybe because I literally just watched Don't Worry, Darling, and it has kind of similar themes and whatnot, but I just was like tuning out really hard.
Next up, we have Wildcat. It is another documentary. This one is by Amazon Studios, so it will release on Amazon Prime. I didn't see any information on a theatrical release. Let us know in the comments if you maybe it's playing near you.
So I saw it actually released earlier in the month. Very, very limited theatrical release. At the very end of the trailer, it said like in theaters December 12th, on Amazon Prime December 30th.
So the synopsis is: back from war in Afghanistan, a young British soldier struggling with depression and PTSD finds a second chance in the Amazon rainforest. Get it? Amazon Studios, Amazon rainforest.
Mm-hmm.
When he meets an American scientist, and together they foster an orphan baby ocelot. I mean, I just couldn't get over how cute this I love cats, and this little baby ocelot. Oh my god.
This is the one where I was watching. It's just like, maybe because it's just a cat, but
yeah.
I'm down to watch this one.
And again, like I said 5 minutes ago, I'm in the mood for a documentary, so I'm gonna check this one out too.
Yeah, definitely. All right, next we have White Noise. This was released in very limited theaters earlier, I think like late November, around the same time that Glass Onion was, but it didn't even come to our theater, even though I wanted to see it. This is for the Netflix release. Adam Driver stars in it. It's a comedy, drama, horror from Netflix, obviously. and it dramatizes a contemporary American family's attempts to deal with the mundane conflicts of everyday life while grappling with the universal mysteries of love, death, and the possibility of happiness in an uncertain world. That is a weird synopsis for this movie compared to like what I saw from the trailer. The main genre I'd put for this one is post-apocalyptic because this is based off a book, a very, very well-received book. And I've heard that it's a book that was called impossible to turn into a movie. The director for this movie is Noah Baumbach. In fact, he worked previously with Adam Driver on Marriage Story. I really like Adam Driver as an actor. I think he's like probably the only good thing to come out of the Star Wars sequels.
The trailer doesn't give off super horror vibes, but so that would mean that the post-apocalyptic, at least to me, the post-apocalyptic thing would have to be horror based. It would have to be, because the trailer, the whole time I'm watching it, I didn't get horror from it. And I guess of course there are different types of horror.
Yeah, I was gonna say like a
you know,
like a natural disaster, you could still derive horror from that. But I guess because the focus of the movie is more so on how this family attempts to deal with it. The trailer seemed very intriguing, and it was one of those cool trailers that doesn't really give away much about the movie itself.
For this next one, we're gonna have to. Actually, we'll talk about that in a second. All right, so that's going to do it for us. What movie are you most looking forward to out of this list? Have you seen any of the movies that made the top 5 this past week? And let us know what other movies you're anticipating. I'm stumbling over my words so much, so that's going to be our cue. Let us know what you think in the comments. Check us for more reviews, all that, blah, blah, blah.
It was fun stuff.